this week, 82. And we got knockout of the week, 82. There was only one winner because when Dave Allen fights, if Dave Allen gets a knockout, we give it to the White Rhino. And it also was the best knockout of the week. Let's just watch it. It's going to be very quick because we have only got the one.
Going for it. Yeah, he's really going for it here, isn't he? Looking for that overhand right, just telegraphing it that time, but he's not messing about. Nice right uppercut as well. Really good work, this punishing work from Dave Allen.
Always had the talent, body shots. The Frenchman still looks confused in that neutral corner. Allen again, uppercuts raining it down for the second time. Tails in, Dave Allen wins in a round, and he is back at 2026. Maybe he fights for a British title. The Dave Allen adventure continues.
Do you think he could get a British title?
100%.
Obviously, Jamie TKV holds it now, but
I think he deserves a title shot. To be brutally honest with you,
100% deserves a title.
Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him. Pause.
Yeah. But yeah, Dave Allen is our winner of knockout of the week, 82, or just knockout of the week, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. I will say Amari Jones actually had a very good knockout, but I kind of just thought, no, it's Dave Allen. White Rhino's got to win it, so
yeah,
screw that. Right, we got huge news this week. You probably already heard it, but we're going to go through it all anyway. Weekly roundup. Here we go. Yeah, weekly roundup. Oh, we're not even stopping today. Loads of energy. Let's. I don't even know what is the biggest news. I mean, we've got Ryan Garcia. We've also got Floyd and Manny.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with Floyd. Let's start with Floyd and Manny. September 19th. Mayweather Pacquiao 2. Mayweather Pacquiao 2.
I'm here for it. And there's a lot of criticism from people because of age and stuff like that. We have to remember that Manny Pacquiao has just fought for a WBC title. And apologies because sorry. Manny Pacquiao's just fought for a WBC title. However, lackluster performance in my opinion. Got a draw against Barrios. It is what it is. But in terms of this fight, I do think people will want to watch it. I mean, if you're happy to sit there and watch Jake Paul v Anthony Joshua as a boxing fan, how can you not want to see Mayweather Pacquiao 2?
Yeah.
And that's the basis I go off. Like, from a boxing fan's point of view, if I'm going to see exhibition fights, it's two guys that are similar age. And yeah, they go again. Manny Pacquiao has come out and said that he wants to be the fighter that gives people a reminder that he put a defeat on Mayweather's record. This is a professional fight, by the way, not an exhibition.
Professional fight.
I'm gonna call it an exhibition. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what condition Mayweather's. I don't know what condition Mayweather's going to be in. But generationally, one of the greatest fighters to ever grace the ring in Floyd Mayweather. Some people's GOAT, some people's top 5. It's going to be interesting. I've got Mayweather winning, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I like this fight. I like it. I mean, we're not going to kid ourselves and say that we're not watching a 49-year-old and a 47-year-old. Let's not lie and say that we're not watching that. They are past their best. They won't be as good, but they should be fairly equal. For just a bit of an update, obviously, Manny Pacquiao fought professionally against Mario Barrios only 4 months ago, and performed well in respect of his age and the fact he's fighting a world champion. He performed well. Mayweather's done a lot of exhibition fights. You can't really look into those too much. I mean, they kind of mean nothing, but he's keeping fit. And a video today, it's his birthday today, actually, as we're filming, or birthday yesterday, rather. But videos are he's still ripped. The bloke has still been training. Like, he's not gotten fat and old. He's apparently trains just as much as before. I struggle to believe that, but seemingly it will be two. It won't just be two old men having a scrap. It won't be Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. that we saw in 2021 or whatever it was. Like, it should be a fairly competitive, high-skilled match. I don't know how. I feel all right about it because it's one of those, like, both are fit, both are healthy. Yes, there's a risk, but there's as much risk on both sides. And, mate, we're talking the best ever, really, and one of the best ever, fighting again in a rematch. The first fight sold the most pay-per-view any fighting event has ever sold, and by a big old margin. Yeah. So why not bring the rematch? The rematch is on Netflix. It's the first boxing event at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And no doubt it's going to have a stupidly good undercard as well. So can't be anything but excited. Do you think this is a discussion I've seen? It's a sort of separate thing, but obviously it relates. Do you think fighter protection should mean that there's actually a limit where fighters just shouldn't be allowed to get in the ring?
Well, if that is the case, it isn't Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. I think fighter protection. Look, we've seen fighters come back and win world titles in their 40s.
Yeah.
So I really think it's conditioning and sort of how you keep yourself in shape. If you are able to pass the same tests that a young, current, active professional goes through, then why shouldn't you be able to fight? The downside to it is there's too many crooked boxing boards that want to make money. So they're just passing anyone. So, like, Mike Tyson should never have been able to be past fit to fight.
Yeah.
The guy was in a wheelchair leading up to his camp because he couldn't walk. He had a walking stick.
Like, evacuated off a plane due to health reasons. Yeah.
Them guys shouldn't be physically fit to fight, and he's nearly 60. So, no, I don't think. Obviously, it's like no one. The problem is, if you retire like Terence has just retired. And he's actually got no aspirations of exhibitions or fighting again. So common sense should prevail, but common sense isn't common with some people. So maybe there has to be a rule coming, but I just don't know what age that could be. I would say it has to be dependent on the fight parameters because, like you say, if you get two guys in there who are in their 50s and they're of the same age, it's a fair fight. But if you get them in there 50-year-old with a guy who's 20 years younger, then I think it's got to be looked at. So I just think it depends.
Yeah, that's fair. I've seen some people saying there should be a cut-off. So once you hit a certain age, whether that, say, be 50 years old, you can no longer get a professional license, which I quite like the idea of, really. Because unfortunately, especially with guys like Mayweather and Pacquiao and Tyson, they, in their head, are probably still as great as they were before. Because you kind of have to have a bit of an ego to be that good. And it's justified. I'm not complaining about that. But, you know, this is where people need to protect them. I also worry that Floyd is doing this more for money than anything else. I know he's the money man. I know they both are doing it for money. But the amount of times we see Floyd suing PBC, suing whoever he possibly can, and then you hear suggestions of maybe he's not got as much money as he's saying and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay. And if that is the pure reason, and unfortunately, I do get it, right? Because boxing is a sport where people can come from nothing and end up with everything. But if the pure reason that a bloke at 49 years old is getting in the ring is to make money again, and that is the only reason, then that's another problem because then health just goes out the window.
I don't think he's broke. Nah, if he's broke, then the rest of us are living in poverty.
Yeah. I mean, he's not living like he's broke, that's for
sure.
He's
not homeless. He's not lost his houses. The guy still owns. He's probably had to sell 2 or 3 businesses, maybe. Or I've heard that's what he's done. His nightclub or strip club that he owns wasn't making a lot of money, but it don't mean he's broke.
Yeah.
Like, define broke, like, because to
Yeah, but I think he's probably more cash poor than anything.
To 90% of people, Mayweather is 100 times richer than them, or 80%. 80% of people. I don't think he's broke. If he's broke, I want his broke.
Yeah.
Because he still owns property, houses, cars, all these things. He still owns them. He's not lost his houses. So, yeah, I don't think he's broke, but he just might not be making as much money as he probably like. I think broke's a loose term to be using with someone like Floyd Mayweather, to be honest with you. He sold his private jet. But all these things he's selling, you have to remember, he's getting money for. So his private jet,
true.
10 million or whatever it may be, he's getting 10 million. He's got 10 million more than a man saying on the other end of a comment on flipping Instagram, he's got 10 million more than you. So, I don't think he's broke, but he could generate a lot of money from this fight. So he'd be stupid not to take it. He's probably going to get paid a lot for it.
Well, the only reason I wanted to bring the money side up is because generally we don't talk too much about the money, and unless it's to do with sort of Zuffa and all of the various, Conor Benn deal, that kind of stuff. But it was more to do. Mayweather, only a month ago, it was reported he had to take a loan of $54 million. Which reportedly had a 9% interest on the $54 million. I mean, it to me feels like he's poorly advised or isn't advised. And this, with the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, has been looming for the last few years. Ever since these exhibitions started, we've been hearing rumors about Mayweather getting in there with Pacquiao again. So for me, I'm looking at it and going, interesting timing there.
Yeah, but Conor, how many people can take a loan for $54 million with a 9% interest?
Oh, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They wouldn't do that if they didn't think he could pay it. But if you look at a boxer and go, all right, well, Floyd can just have an exhibition and just make 10 mil. So when they're giving out this loan to him, they're not looking at that. They're not going to look at him in the same way they look at somebody else and look for stable income and look at past bank transactions. They're just purely going to go, he's Floyd Mayweather. And realistically, they're probably right because he's now getting in there with Pacquiao. He's going to make the what does he need to make? $61 million to pay back to them or whatever it is.
Yeah, but bro, any credible credit agency that lends money has to do a background check. They can't just go off.
Well, I know, but they'll do a background check on him and see. Yeah, this is a bloke that can make 50 mil in like that. He can do it.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know. And also with it's also just it will be some form of the interest rates will go up, won't they? So the more they go up, the more desperate he gets, the more likely they are to get their money. It's a bit of a risk, but most of these loan agents are all pieces of shit, really. I mean, it doesn't sound like he took that from a bank. So I don't know. And also should be said that that's reported by Business Insider, which are pretty reliable, but like whether or not that's 100% true, we'll never know unless he tells us, and even though we won't know. But but in terms of the fight, Pacquiao or Mayweather, I've got to say I'm going to have to back Pacquiao. I can't, but I feel weird saying that. I'm saying it on the pure basis that we've seen Pacquiao in a pro fight do 12 rounds in a world title fight against Barrios, Barrios is, as we've said for a while, not a great world champion, but he is a world champion. And he's a legitimate world champion. And Pacquiao did the 12 rounds of them and got the draw. We've not seen Mayweather for years, especially in a proper fight. So, his last proper fight was what? Bello? Was that his last fight before McGregor? And I'm not counting McGregor, really.
Forgetting about all the exhibition fights he's done.
Yeah, but do they count? Because are you counting? Oh, Berto, not Bello. But are you counting Logan Paul and Deji as legitimate? Oh, okay, I can see how good he is there. Like I can't count.
No, of course not. But then he went and fought the best. I believe it was the K1 champion in Japan in a boxing match and punched him up.
Yeah, but that was years ago as well. That was what's his name? That's gonna Tenshin Nasukawa. That was 2018. You know which is 7 years,
if
8 years
Mayweather's
ago.
been if Mayweather's been training every day or training as he was when he was a pro, which he's got the time to do and he's got the money to do, so that wouldn't surprise me in it. Then he's just not fought. But then, like, how much sparring has he done? All these questions come into play. He looks obviously in shape, which says to me like there's been no decline in his shape since he's retired.
Yeah.
Like a lot of fighters, you know, blow up or whatever it is.
He's not let himself go, definitely.
So we will see on Fight Night.
We will. I
don't think Floyd Mayweather would take a fight on his professional record against Manny Pacquiao if he didn't believe he could win. Now.
Oh, I'm not saying that. But I just think, looking at the circumstances, you've got Pacquiao, who I believe has probably spent the last 10 years thinking about his loss to Floyd. And you've got Mayweather, who doesn't really care. And it so happens Mayweather might have financial issues, and suddenly Mayweather's willing to do a pro fight against a Pacquiao who we know can do 12 hard rounds. And I would guess the rounds against Barrios will be harder rounds, more physical than the Mayweather rounds. Mayweather's going to be more mentally draining, obviously, but I don't know. It's hard to say because really, I'm saying that the GOAT is going to lose, which doesn't sound right, but time gets everyone. He was 41 when he fought that 20-year-old kickboxer. He's 49 now, and he's fighting Manny Pacquiao, who is a legitimate, real boxing legend, Hall of Fame. So, but I'm excited. I will say that, and I have no issue watching this. I'm not going to be sat there too worried. I do think there is, like we said, is an important discussion about there maybe should be a fighter safety cut-off point where fighters can't fight. But with these two, we know they keep fit. We know they're some of the best ever. And they're similar age, similar experience. Like, if anything goes wrong with this, it feels more fluke than it does hindsight will be a bitch with it. So I'm okay with it. I'm going to watch it. I'm excited, very excited. September 19th is the date that I believe Canelo was meant to return. So I wonder if that will get pushed back at all or changed, because realistically, I don't imagine that the ring will want to overlap an event with Mayweather Pacquiao too, because they will lose. Canelo or not, you don't beat Mayweather and Pacquiao. It's Netflix again. Netflix provide. I mean, they're getting everything.
They are, but you know, I just worry how long it takes for it to be. I don't know. Before subscription type thing comes in, similar to DAZN, because I don't think Netflix can maintain what they're doing with a $5.99 a month subscription and show these big shows and then miss out on making X amount of money.
Yeah, I don't. I agree. I'm not sure how it works. I mean, from a business model point of view, potentially say only 5% of their viewers are actually watching the boxing. 5% of people with subscriptions are watching it. So you got 95% essentially covering the boxing without meaning to. But then they've got to pay for all their other, exclusive shows and then WWE and the various other stuff they get. So yeah, I agree. I don't see how that's sustainable. But in the same way we did when sort of Riyadh season first got involved with boxing, we're just going to have to sit back and watch and just hope it lasts as long as possible. Because in the same way that the ring cards in quality and quantity have quite clearly gone down. Well, not quality, but quantity have quite clearly gone down. We are seeing less. And I think that's due to the money side. Speaking of which, we've got former Manny Pacquiao opponent Mario Barrios, who fought Ryan Garcia, and what a mistake that was. And I will admit, and I'll be first to admit before you get there, I was very wrong. Ryan Garcia was excellent. He was excellent. Barrios was so disappointing. I mean, Garcia was the best I've ever seen Garcia, which is a nice thing to see. It's good for boxing as well. Barrios was probably it's one of the worst defenses of a world title I've ever seen. It's Charles Martin against AJ level of bad. The difference, Barrios got battered for 12 rounds. He lost every round. Essentially 13 rounds because he got knocked down. I mean, yeah.
What forfeit are you doing though?
Oh,
That's what
man,
I want to know.
You just so couldn't even talk about the fight a little. We just had to go straight.
Let me just one sec. Ryan Garcia dominated, as I said. Knocked him down in the first 10 seconds. Won the rest of the fight. Barrios, I said, would lose. Barrios did not stand a chance. Those two things happened. Those two things won. Now, let's get down to the real business. What are you doing for a forfeit, Conor?
I think, historically, for anyone that's been watching the show for a little while now, you will remember. I can't remember what fight it was, but we've done this before. And there was a shake on the line, 5-ingredient, just, I don't know what we want, shit shake, whatever you want to call it. And I stupidly forgot to ever tell Paolo what to do for it. So it never happened.
So it expired.
It expired. However, now karma has hit me like a truck. And I think I'm waiting for Paolo to tell me what's going to be in it, and I'll film it and we'll put a clip out. Make sure you're following us Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to YouTube as well, and the clip will be out and we're drinking it. It will also be in next week's show, but terrible business. Barry, you play devil's advocate and it doesn't go well.
Do you know what I'm going to do as well?
Oh, God. Just evil. What?
I'm going to go to 3 people for an ingredient, including mine. And I'm not going to do 5. 5's harsh. We'll do 4 ingredients.
Might as well do 5. If you're doing 4, go for it. 5.
Nah, you don't want 5. You don't want 5 because the 5th one will be horrible that I give you. So one of them's going to be a spice. We need a base for the ink shake. So that's an ingredient, by the way. So I'm being fair here, innit? So the base of the ingredient, is milk. You can drink. Can you drink milk?
Yeah, I can drink milk.
Just checking.
It's fine.
You drink
Yeah,
milk?
yeah,
Cool.
it's fine.
So the base of the ingredient's milk.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Not
one
a great
ingredient.
start,
See, I'm not.
to be
I'm
honest,
being.
but yeah.
It's not. No. It's gonna get worse though. It's gonna get worse.
I'll cut that.
My ingredient is gonna be cinnamon.
Okay.
A lot of cinnamon.
A lot of cinnamon. All right.
I'm gonna go for. You need to put 3 spoons of cinnamon into that milk.
Tablespoons.
Spoons.
Okay. Well, heaped tablespoons.
I'll let you do it. Yeah, that's fine.
It'll be on film. If I cop out, you'll know. And then
the other 2
I'm not going to,
ingredients. Because I've been fair there. I've said milk's an ingredient, and it is an ingredient. Can't make a shake about it. The other 2 ingredients, I'll be going to 2 men. Know us. We'll be going for Flips and Louis.
Right. Okay.
And I'll be asking them for an ingredient.
See, I ain't got Flips. I think will be nice. I'm not sure Louis will be nice. Louis is a Chelsea fan. Chelsea fans are not going to be nice.
See, you're so wrong about that,
No, I got a feeling. I've got faith.
So Flips is going to do you justice.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I'm more worried about Louis.
You're more worried about Louis. You're less worried about Flips.
Yeah.
No problem. Well, okay, cool. No worries. This will go up as a clip anyway, and then we can Yeah. So we will see anyway. That's the forfeit for next week. But jokes aside, I think Ryan Garcia's put himself in a great position.
Yeah.
And we wanted him to show us something in that fight, and he showed us what a dedicated, focused, locked-in Garcia can do.
Yeah.
I don't think Conor Benn is ready to fight Ryan Garcia yet, and I'll tell you why. We talk about, and I think I was watching it on TalkSport.
Right.
We talk about, let's look at the opponents, yeah? Conor Benn's best win is Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. lost against Liam Smith. Some people would argue, and Carl Froch said this, and he's somebody who talks to Conor Benn and has respect for him, but you have to be real when you got to be real. George Groves ended Conor Benn. George Groves ended Chris Eubank. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
In my opinion, George Groves stopped whatever hype train Eubank had in that fight with one flipping arm. Yeah. So, because he, if I'm not mistaken, he dislocated his arm in that fight.
I believe so, yeah.
So, and then he went on, and he's had a couple of wins here and there, fought for an IBO title, which no one really gives any credit to the IBO for because of the weakness of the opponents. Lost against Liam Smith, beat Liam Smith in a rematch.
Yeah.
Liam Smith is a certain level, but he lost against him. He then went and fought Conor Benn. Conor Benn himself hasn't fought at a world level before. And I'm not, and you made the point, that fight probably will happen because the money in it's too much. But from a point of view of his team, his new team, his new management team, which doesn't involve Eddie Hearn, which we can talk about in a bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that now. Immediately, yeah.
But you got to look at that and go, Ryan Garcia is not the guy you want to fight next. Shakur Stevenson's definitely not the guy you want to fight next. Yeah,
I was going to say, I think Gus, you're right. Conor Benn's record is not. It's good. It's good. It's not great. He's got some former champions on there. He's got Eubank Jr., who obviously that's a competitive fight, and he's avenged that one loss. And the first fight, you could argue, he actually won. So overall, he's got a good record. Garcia's got a better record. Garcia's been in there with harder opponents, now picked up a world title. I don't know if this win against Barrios, for me, I don't know if that certifies him as, something to be avoided.
No, but
he's clearly serious. Definitely. But we know he's serious about boxing as well, which is obviously the main problem with Ryan Garcia. And that is what I was saying before. And that's the only reason I went for Barrios. And I said it, if Garcia turns up and he's actually trained, I said I think Garcia will beat him.
You did say that.
But
you did say that.
I had a feeling that it wouldn't happen. I don't know why. I thought Barrios would want it more.
I think a big part of it is him having his dad in his corner again. His dad coaching him.
True. Yeah, definitely. Just keeps him a bit more humble, down to earth.
Obviously, his dad's. I don't know if that's a long-term solution. His dad is fairly older, but if his dad can kick him up the arse and say to him, like, even if I'm here or I'm not coaching you, you need to fucking lock in, basically.
Yeah.
Which I think is what his dad's probably said to him. I believe we're going to see some great years out of Ryan Garcia. I genuinely do. Is he the best out there? No. But this is what I like about the world, this level of boxing now, is like a loss doesn't define you. I mean, Ryan Garcia is an example of that, right? I'd love for him and Haney to run a fight.
Yeah, that's probably the fight I'd want to see next, to be fair, over the Conor Benn fight.
Him and Devin Haney is a bigger fight than Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia.
I think him and Devin Haney, excluding sort of heavyweights, is that the biggest fight in boxing? Could be.
I don't know.
I'm obviously not talking. I'm not including Mayweather Pacquiao as well.
I know it sounds crazy, but if it would have happened, Benavidez and Bivol would have been a huge fight. But obviously, Benavidez has moved up to cruiserweight now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that would have been it. I think that would have been a huge fight. To be honest with you, that would have been one of the biggest. But then, yeah, probably is one. I think it's one of the biggest there, definitely for sure. I think at some point, you know, the thing is, and I know we don't like talking about him, but there's actually no parameters around what he's doing yet, what he's been, if he's been charged, etc., if he's going to carry on. But one of the biggest fights to make at the smaller weights, if both fighters are active, and I say both because one of them is and one of them isn't, is Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, Gervonta is still one of the biggest names in the sport,
and we don't know the parameters around what, what's happening with him yet. So if he was to make a return, I think that potentially is one of the biggest fights, potentially bigger than Haney and Garcia.
Gervonta's coach has said that he's fighting this year, that he's going to fight this year, but whether that, I don't think we can believe anything about that until the legal side is settled.
Gervonta Davis wants money fights. Shakur is the biggest money fight he's going to get. In that way, in my opinion. I don't think we should. I think we got to dismiss this thing about Inui moving up. The guy's moved up 5 rates already. Like we've had this before, where it's like, how many weights does a man need to move up to prove himself to be pound for pound? Like, the guy's just beating world champions left, right, and center, world-class fighters left, right, and center. Let him be. If I'm going to watch any fight now, and I don't know if it will happen now, to be fair, because of the loss, but Nick Ball and Inui, I would have liked to have seen that. But yeah, Shakur and Gervonta's Ryan Garcia and Haney will be a massive fight because of the parameters of what happened in the first fight.
Yeah.
For that reason, you're probably right. It is probably the biggest, but not because of what happens in the ring. But I think more commercially, it's going to be the biggest.
Definitely. I think I still like the Conor Benn fight with Ryan Garcia. I still think that's a good fight. I think it is competitive because I do think Conor Benn would have done a similar job on Barrios. I just my concern, well, not my concern, but Garcia looked very well-rounded for the fact, not for the first time, but he defensively was very sharp. His speed was obviously very good. His timing, obviously very good. But everything about his performance it's not perfect because nothing's perfect, but as close to perfect as you're probably going to get in a world title fight. Conor Benn has the aggression. He comes forward. We know Garcia's not great on his back foot. He's an all right counter puncher, but it's not his. Well, actually, do you know what? The speed and timing make him a good counter puncher, but it's not his preferred position. It is not to be stepping backwards. And I'm struggling to think if Conor Benn could cut the ring off well enough to beat Ryan Garcia. But I like that fight. I do really like that fight, and I do think that's a very competitive fight. You are 100% right. Conor Benn should not step near Shakur. We're not going to talk about that too much, but that is just that makes no sense because Shakur is a whole different level.
Yeah, 100%.
You will not touch Shakur Stevenson. It's just not going to happen.
No.
But yeah, like Ryan Garcia, has done a brilliant job. He is now a world champion, which is something that's well overdue, really, when you think about it. And I think you're right. I think he's going to give us some huge fights. Yeah. Well, he already has.
I think Conor Benn's got to establish himself in America first, which obviously is what he's doing by the looks of it with Zuffa. Before he can be thrown into the mix of that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We'll very quickly conclude. Frank Martin drew to Nahir Albright, bit disappointing, probably should have lost. Amari Jones landed a brilliant shot against Louis Ariz. And Gary Antoine Russell beat Andy Hiroka, which I didn't see coming. I thought Andy Hiroka would be too much, I'll be honest. But overall, very good event. Conor Benn moves to Zuffa. I'm disappointed in him. Got to be honest.
No.
It's a $15 million contract.
Hear me out though. I think you've got to look at this from two angles. Obviously, he got 10 million to fight Eubank. Yeah. 10 million, I think he got to fight Eubank. So that was his biggest payday like ever. Yeah. So you know, them fights not going to come around often. You know, I think morally you can say he's wrong 100% in terms of his relationship with Eddie Hearn. I think purely, and not because he left, hear me out, not because he left, but the way that he left. Didn't ring you, Eddie Hearn, refused to speak to him on the phone. Like, with the greatest of respects, that isn't somebody, and, you know, Conor Benn has come out and said that he still wants Eddie Hearn to be a part of his team. What that looks like, I don't know, but I can't see him working with Conor Benn to work alongside Dana White. I just don't think it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And, you know, if you really value someone that much, you should have the fucking decency of ringing them, like, and not hide behind your management.
Yeah.
Us fans, that's what it looks like he's done.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah,
I can still hear you. It's all good. Like the issue, I think, the biggest issue is the way he's done it. Because realistically, nobody on this planet will blame a boxer for taking a contract with more money. And if he believes that $15 million contract is more than he will get in his next 3 fights, is more than he would have got with 3 fights with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, then fair enough. I've got no problem with that. He's going to be one of the biggest names at Zuffa. They're going to promote the shit out of him. I understand the move. Like that side makes sense. I don't actually know if he. I think he probably would have got more out of Matchroom, because I think the Ryan Garcia fight alone does at least 10 million. But whatever. But Eddie Hearn backed Conor Benn to the absolute just brink of what must have been hellish when we had the drug scandal, which was, I mean, one of, if not the biggest boxing stories that we have had for years. The media around it, the news articles, it was ridiculous. It was almost overkill, but like, and Eddie Hearn had to answer every single interview. There was a question about Conor Benn, and Eddie Hearn answered every single one and backed him every single time.
I think,
and still, even now, backs Conor Benn a little bit. So to not speak to him.
Yeah, I think the loaning of money as well, when Conor Benn weren't earning from boxing, which he denied on a press conference where Eubank actually called it out. Eubank actually said on a press conference, what about Eddie Hearn loaning you hundreds of thousands of pounds? And Eddie Hearn sat on there and said, not true, not true, not true. You know, he lied for him, clearly lied. I'm going to use the word lied because he lied to protect his fighter, which I'm not digging out, but protect his fighter. Do I, in hindsight, believe that Eddie Hearn really believed Conor Benn weren't cheating? When I'm seeing the language and the body language and the verbal interviews coming out now, it does put a question over it, because he's not as confident. And maybe he said maybe I shouldn't have backed him to the hill like I did. Is he saying that out of emotion, or did he not believe it himself, but he had to perceive to the public that he believed it?
I'm not sure. My view on it's actually been the opposite to that, though. I think from the interviews I've seen, Eddie he's obviously hurt as much as you're going to be. Eddie knows the game. It's not like he's new to it, and this is the first time a boxer's screwed him over a little. The game's the game, sadly. But I think Eddie is more upset by the way that Conor Benn's left him. I don't think in Eddie Hearn's head there's anything to do with the drug stuff. So he's been asked about that. Of course he has. But from what I've seen and what I've taken from it is actually more, to me, proof that Eddie does think thinks Conor is clean and never cheated, because even now he's backing him, and there's no need to now. It's not his fighter, and it's a fighter that's actually gone against him. I'm disappointed in Conor Benn and the way he's gone about it entirely. So stupid. Eddie Hearn's a likable guy now as well. This isn't 10 years ago when Eddie Hearn would show his face and get booed. But he used to, you know what I mean? But he'd get booed before. Like 10 years ago, he'd show his face in the arena, he'd get booed. And like you'd have Anthony Joshua making a joke, being like, oh, what do you guys think of Eddie? And they'd boo. Nowadays, he's quite a polarizing, like people like him. He's a good character to have in British media as well as particularly boxing.
Yeah. Big up to Charlie Parsons because he's putting a light on the.
Charlie Parsons is a massive aspect to that.
Yeah.
So it's not the guy you want to fuck over. It's really not. I think people have been a little harsh and forgetting that it is boxing. Kalle Sauerland did an interview where they asked him about it, and he said, like, I think to quote him, said it's like Conor Benn's a bit of a dog for doing it, but everyone in boxing is a dog. So you think I don't know. I don't blame him for leaving.
The thing is, there's not many examples of it's like show me the same loyalty I'm going to show you. Eddie Hearn couldn't have done any more than he done for Conor Benn.
Yeah.
The other side of it now is he a dog for doing it? Yes, but then what is he prioritizing? Is he prioritizing the right things? I do think he is. I think when you want to talk about family and kids and securing their futures, he's a $15 million fight deal for one fight. But what people don't realize about this as well is, and I don't know if he's calculated this, and I would hope that the smart guys he did was, if I look at someone like Anthony Joshua who earned money out in America, Puerto Rico, but America, he was paid, was it 70 million to fight or whatever it was? He was taxed half of that. So he was taxed in America and taxed in the UK. Conor Benn will more than likely get taxed for his earnings in America and he'll be taxed in the UK. So he's not, in hindsight, getting $15 million. But then if he'd earned money in the UK, he's not getting $10 million. He's getting taxed on that money. So, and he's getting taxed at what, 40% in the UK for that money he earned off Chris Eubank?
Yeah, it must be 40%. Yeah, it'd be the highest bracket, surely.
40% of 10 million. Like, so like, you know, when you're talking about athletes' wages and stuff like that, and be it football or boxing, I think people forget sometimes that you earn half. He's probably earning half of what he's stated he's getting paid.
Yeah, it's also worth noting 50 million is the baseline number. So apparently the deal guarantees $15 million, but there is upside potential to 30, which I guess is to do with whether that's pay-per-view, gate money, whether, you know, the UFC do their money in a different way. Or
but Zuffa don't pay. This is what makes it interesting because predominantly, from what I understand, if Zuffa are running off a similar model to UFC, gate earnings and all these things are kept in-house. So unless they've changed their ways to sign someone like Conor Benn, then that's fine. But they're kind of lying to everyone in the sense that the way that Dana White runs the operation, he is just like another boxing body. He's not any different. Yes, they have their own belts, but Joe Pataya can still fight for IBF titles. So what? So why are you any different to Eddie Hearn and these guys? You're not.
Well, I don't think I don't think they are. Maybe they will be at some point, but I don't think they are. We should also, by the way, bring up. We've said and we've been saying that this is inevitable and it's going to happen. Sean O'Malley, for people that don't know the UFC, I imagine most boxing fans will know the name, but former UFC champion, one of the biggest names in the UFC, came out and he's pretty outspoken. He said it's pretty disgraceful that Conor Benn's getting $15 million. He's never earned that much. You've got Michael Venom Page, who the UK audience will know. Really just quite a cool guy. Just watch his highlights, really. He's awesome to watch. But he's come out and said about the fighter pay side of it and how little the UFC fighters are getting compared to the Conor Benn, who's on his first fight contract with Zuffa, whatever. And Demetrius Johnson, one of the best fighters ever in the UFC and in MMA, has also come out and said why aren't UFC champs getting anything like that? So there's going to be an issue there. I think they're going to end up. They're going to hurt themselves. They're really going to hurt themselves. I wouldn't even be surprised if Conor Benn goes back to Matchroom after.
I don't think he will.
But it does depend on obviously whether or not Matchroom would take him.
No, I think Matchroom would take him. The relationship. No, I don't think they would sign him as a fighter. They would do a deal when it suits them and when it suits Conor Benn. But he's not going to get the same loyalty that, you know what I mean? And he can't expect the same loyalty after what he's done. He can't expect Eddie Hearn to give him the fucking gold after what he's done. So they'll do a deal when they find it suitable, and he'll do a deal when he finds it suitable.
Yeah.
And I think that would be how it be. But Eddie Hearn won't, Eddie Hearn won't show the same sort of vim for him that he's been showing for him over the years.
No, he's not going to get the same love that he once had. No. Of course not. It's like I'm interested to see the UFC response, because the boxing world's gone mad, obviously, but the UFC fighters are not good. There's other organizations in the UFC, and they don't necessarily, they're not as big, but all it would take is for them to have the right fighters. However, that's not really what the show's about. But look, the point is, Zuffa are going to have massive issues with that side of it. We've said that for a while, though. It was always going to happen. The minute you start paying, boxing versus MMA has been a conversation for decades. Which one's better?
Boxing is bigger, clearly, because
boxing's bigger, and you have to pay more.
Your president of UFC is deserting all of you fighters to go and pay boxers more money. I'm just going to leave it there, boys.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave it there. That's going to end the debate. Conor Benn is getting more money than all your champions. I'm just going to leave it there. The only man that can get paid the money that the boxers get paid is a personality like Conor McGregor. That is literally it.
You got to be called Conor to make millions.
And millions and millions.
Don't worry about it. McGregor and Ben, we're not alike in any way. I don't want to be anything like McGregor, but we all get $1 million contracts. Leigh Wood beat Josh Warrington. Good event, really. Good event. The main event was kind of, it wasn't the first fight. It was a good main event, but Josh Warrington is done, I think it's fair to say.
But what a great way to end, though. Like, I know he lost, massively. But to be a part of like a 2-fight spectacle like that before you can go out and retire is a big way to go out.
Definitely.
Josh Warrington's been a world champion. Like he's done things in boxing.
He's done the dream. He's done the dream. He's done homecoming fights. He's won multiple titles. He's had dramatic moments, big moments. Like, he's done everything that you can do. He should retire now, though, because he lost every round, really. It's unfortunately it wasn't a good enough fight. We can't really spend more than about a minute talking about it. But Leigh Wood, congratulations. In all honesty, I'd like both of them to retire. I don't think Leigh Wood looked his normal self either. Just think he looked better than Warrington, who looked shot to bits. The best story of the night, besides Dave Allen winning by knockout, Leo Tang winning by knockout, Molly McCann winning, Joe Howarth, who's a Dave Allen fighter, winning. TMA Ayton won. A little bit controversial, that one, though. I wasn't as confident that she'd won that as I have been for other fights. Sandy Ryan won. But the fight that we're going to talk about, Belal Fawaz beat Ishmael P. Davis. And he did it in style. It was a close fight still. It was not. People have made out that Ishmael Davis was almost not all that, and that Belal Fawaz completely outdid him. Mixed decision win, and it could have gone either way. But what a story. A bloke that still doesn't have a British passport is now the British super welterweight champion. Which speaks to what's wrong with the country as well.
What a story, by the way. And he's from Harrow, man.
Yeah.
Hometown. He's from Harrow. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the guy's fought for England boxing. He's a British champion. Do you know what? I'm gonna say something. I know we're not a political podcast, but I am gonna say something because it does relate to Bilal.
Yeah.
You know, all I see in the media, be it negative or not, is how people bang on about how they want people over here that are gonna contribute to the economy and all these sorts of things, right? This is a man who got a work permit, whatever he was granted a work permit. And I won't skip over his story because his story makes a big difference. But the guy is given a work permit. He's earning thousands and thousands of pounds now, paying a higher tax than some people in this country that don't work, pay any tax, and claim. Which each to their own is their own reasons. But this is a man who wants to work, who's paying tax, who wants to represent England, who wants to represent the British flag. I don't see how he's not given a passport. I really don't. Like the guy has fought in a sense for England and represented England, and you know he's eligible to fight for a British title. Boxing rankings are quite serious. If you're not British, you don't fight for a title.
You wouldn't exactly.
So, like, with all due respect, there has to be some sort of. There's got to be something there. Like, he's eligible to fight. He's here. You know, think about it like this: the guys like him boost the economy. There's no like cons to him at all because
no, definitely not.
At the end of the day, he goes and gets a big fight in Saudi, earns the money, pays the tax when he comes back, pays a higher tax. Like these guys boost the economies. These are people who have come over, and the circumstances that he come over in were really sad. It wasn't as if he was brought here out of choice.
Illegally trafficked and he had no choice in that matter. His story is incredible, but
if they make a movie about him, that would be one of the biggest movies coming out. Telling you now, I'd love. And you know what? I'm going to reach out. I know people that know him. I'm going to reach out to him and try and get him on the show. Hopefully, he'll do it. But the guy is just an example to kids. He's an example to people in general. He's an example to everyone. I've got nothing negative to say about this guy. I give him a passport. Give him a passport. Who the Home Office. The Home Office have turned around and said they don't comment on individual cases, but have come out and said that it wasn't their decision to not give him a passport. So whose decision is it?
Yeah, mate. Well,
the Home Office give
politics altogether at the moment.
So it's like I understand his frustration. Currently, right now, he can't fight outside of England because he doesn't have a passport. So, he's going to be in big fights here. And I just think it's sad, but I'm so happy that he won. I've never wanted someone to win a title so much than Bilal.
Yeah.
I've never wanted... And what a style he's actually done it in was a lot fitter than Ishmael the whole fight.
Definitely,
the guy didn't drop off. He's 36 years old.
37, mate.
37. And the way that he's moving, and I understand what he's saying. The urgency and desperate. You can hear how desperate he is because these are the years for him to make a difference. The next 3 years of his boxing career are going to be so important.
Yeah, exactly. He's not someone that's got unlimited amount of time. Like he actually does need. There is obviously he will get a lot of fights in the UK, and that is great. But most fighters dream of fighting in America or fighting, outside of their home country. I believe he was born in Nigeria with Amir Khan Promotions. Maybe he'd like to fight back there for a fight because we've seen so many people do that. The opportunity should be there for him. And the reason it's not there is pretty ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make sense to anyone. But that aside, the bloke is an unbelievably good boxer. He's actually got himself a really good record. Beat Ryan Amos, probably should have beaten Janai Bostan twice, but one of them went down as a draw, and he's just beat Ishmael Davis. He's slowly working his way to the point where it's like, is there maybe a world title shot in his career? He is a few fights off of that. That's not near future, but yeah, the fact he's 37 doesn't help him out because time will catch him.
The man weren't meant to beat Janai Boston.
No.
You know, it's that classic thing of he was brought in to be like a tick over fight for Junaid. There was a draw. Second fight, he won. Like
convincingly, yeah.
Eddie Hearn has signed him.
Fairy tale story. It's a fairy tale story.
Give the man a passport. And do you know what? Man, like the guy, politics, like you could go on about it all day, yeah, but like for me as well, and I said it last week as well, like coming from half of my family who are immigrants who come over to work and to contribute to the economy and stuff like that. Like these guys, he's come over on circumstances not on his terms, made the best of a bad situation, slept in gyms, cleaned the floors, done all these things, was put into a refugee camp, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, I believe.
In 2020 or 2019, I think I was reading up on. Then he was granted a work permit to work. And since then, the boxing journey's kind of he's really putting time into it. Listen, the guy is just inspirational stuff. Home Office, give this man a passport. That's what I've got to say.
100%. Yeah, we could speak about him for so long, but that's my favorite part of the week. Maybe actually not for a long time. That's my favorite bit of news. We will speak. I mean, there's not much to speak about with this, but Claressa Shields won again. She won every round again. It's a Franchón Crews-Dezurn. No, she's not. She's a good fighter. But this is what we were saying last week. Shields, I need to see her fight the Lauren Prices because she's too good. And this is in all the the most respectful way possible because Franchón is a good fighter, great fighter, and a world champion in her own right. But Claressa's, I can't remember the last time she lost a round. Never mind came close to losing a fight, and it is kind of getting ridiculous. Where I'm like, I don't know if anyone can beat her or even come close. But in my mind, Lauren Price and Chantel Cameron are two of the female fighters that we know are world level and above world level. They are properly, serious, great fighters. And they're heavy or heavier. So there's an actual chance of that fight because Alicia Baumgardner's not going to happen. Baumgardner is naturally light. So to ask them to meet at 150 pounds is ridiculous for both, really. But yeah, Claressa's she's so good, man. I will say the undercard for it, I was a little bit, I don't know. Atif O'Belton, who I mentioned last week, he won in round 1 by knockout, and it was a ref stopped it kind of. Not, it wasn't. It didn't even go down to TKO. So it's an okay event. It's a Dimitri Salita event. I'd love to see Claressa Shields move on from him. I know they're good friends, and I like Dimitri Salita. I think he's a good promoter, but Shields is bigger than the promotion by quite a bit. So it'd be good to see her move on. Speaking of female boxing and quotes, Katie Taylor, one more fight and she's out. She dreams, and it's probably, you could probably put money on it, but final fight, homecoming fight in Dublin. She wants Croke Park. Whether or not she gets Croke Park, I don't know, because I don't know what fight would be out there that would sell out Croke Park. And then she's going to retire, and that's the end of not the end, but that's the end of the professional story of Katie Taylor, which is sad, but we knew it was coming. But yeah, almost can't believe that. But this summer will be the last time we get to watch Katie Taylor fight. So hopefully it's a good fight. I would love it to be Chantel Cameron, because imagine that final fight and it's Chantel. Oh, it'd be so good. I don't think it. Do you know? I don't know, because it's Croke Park. They've got to get a name that will sell out. Final bit of news. Jesus, it's a long, big old week. This Noah Inoue versus Junto Nakatani, May 2nd, Tokyo Dome. So 50,000 people in Japan, 2 Japanese fighters, £126.
Yeah,
so good, and that's confirmed. Noah Inoue has confirmed it. Nakatani, I believe, confirmed it in an interview with a Japanese reporter. Ring Magazine have announced it. It's good to go. I just want to very quickly mention this because we're already an hour in, but we do not get many world champions in boxing that will fight anyone anywhere. They all say they will, but most of them have some contingencies and will only do it based on a certain contract, a certain amount of money. I'm only actually going to fight you in Vegas, or I'm only actually going to fight you under this, various things. Noah Inoue fights about 4 times every year. He doesn't fight, I don't even say bums, but he fights people that are in the top 10 rankings for whatever division he is currently dominating. And now he's going and fighting at 126. He doesn't need to be at 126 anymore. And he's just decided, 122, sorry. No, 126. And he's just going to fight Junto Nakatani, who is an unbelievably good fighter as well. Like, I can't believe it. And do you know what? What will be next? Is it he goes up and fights Bruce Carrington, Espinoza at featherweight, or is it that he waits, lets Bam Rodriguez come up and fight Jesse Bam Rodriguez? Like, this is he's so special, man. I don't know if we'll ever see a fighter as active, as aggressive, as good to watch, he's the best. He's actually the best. He's the best.
Yeah, I think Junto Nakatani and Inoue is somebody that these guys, it's a massive fight. I don't think that fight specifically, though, is 50-50 anymore.
Not after last performances.
No. If I go off Nakatani's last performance and how he fought in that fight, not specifically something that I wasn't impressed with his performance at all. I thought it was a bit lackluster. And then I look at Inouye's performance in the same night and I think, wow, just how he dominated. So, and apologies for the background noise.
No, it's all right. It's not that bad.
Yeah. So, lackluster performance. But I think, Inoue is somebody... I've got Inoue winning the fight.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. But I think he's going to go and he's one of those where you just get, it's almost like a vibe. You get that kind of feeling with him. He might just go and do, like, he's already Hall of Fame, one of the best we've ever seen. He could retire now and he will be in conversation. Is he the greatest Asian fighter we've ever seen? Is he the best bantamweight? Is he the, various other things? And you will make an argument for him. But he's going to go, he might beat Nakatani, who's a pound-for-pound level fighter. Like, he was top 10 before his last performance. Whether or not he's still there now, I'm not sure, because, you had Shakur put in good performances, but he's top 15 at least. And I think he'll beat Nakatani. He's then either going to let Bam Rodriguez, who is pound-for-pound top 10, come and fight him, or he's going to go and fight Bruce Carrington, who is on the verge of coming into the pound-for-pound territory after after everything he's been doing recently, because he's unbelievable, or Espinoza, who is the most avoided fighter, I think, in boxing at the moment, because he's 27 over 24 knockouts at featherweight. Like, mate, I can't comprehend this bloke. I mean, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets in there with all of them and he fights every single one.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I do think that he will get in there with everyone, and Yeah, I don't know. I can't see anyone beating Inouye. I just can't see it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
nobody.
I was a bit disappointed by Nakatani and his performance, and it just made me change my view about him slightly. I didn't think that fight was going to make sense. It is making sense because it'd be the biggest fight in Japan, biggest venue, Tokyo Dome, but biggest fight, Tokyo Dome, but it's not going to be a fight that I think is going to be 50-50. And I just think Inouye is going to be too much for him.
I think so too. I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about him? Where does Inouye go after this fight?
I want to see him move up. Personally, I think you beat Junto. There's no need for a rematch unless it's a close fight and it's brilliant. In which case, sure, but realistically, no need for a rematch. So you beat Junto, and then the only people that are left in the division are, well, he's beat most of them already, right? And if he's not beat them, he's beat people that have beat them. So the only, Sam Goodman, I don't care about that. Nishida, Japanese fighter, but I don't care about that. Then you've got Picasso, Tapales, and Akhmadaliev, who he's beat. Sebastian Reyes, who Nakatani beat. Raymond Cardi. These are all people that have either already been beaten by Nakatani or by Inouye, or Nakatani's beaten them, or Inouye has already beat the person that beat them. So he's completed the division. He has wiped out another division. And that's something that I don't know if it's don't give enough credit to, but no, I don't think there's many, if any, boxers that have ever wiped out divisions to the extent that Noah Inouye does. He will give anybody a chance, assuming that they're good enough. You don't have one fight, call him out, and he'll get in there with you. But there are not many fighters. If you're in the top 10 and you're in his division, he wants you. He wants that fight.
You don't take easy fights.
No, never. So I'd like to see him move up to featherweight.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him fight Carrington. I think the Nick Bull fight is still good. I don't know if he'd be interested by it because Nick Bull doesn't carry a title anymore. But I'd like to see him fight Bruce Carrington, Espinoza, Lewis Neri at featherweight looks really good. He looks really strong again. And I know that Noah Inouye has already beat him, but their first fight was a really good fight. Obviously, Neri did put Inouye down. He's got to get through Nakatani, and I do think he will. But let's not jump the gun too much because Nakatani is 32-0. He has knocked out 24. Yeah, 24 knockouts. And his last opponent, for all that he didn't look great, was 20-0 and Mexican, which is probably enough said, really. It's just so good that it's happening. There's
But it'd be the big that is a massive fight, and as I said, Tokyo Dome, what spectacle! And my favorite time of the day, it will be on during the day.
Yeah, it will. It won't be a late night piss take kind of thing. May 2nd, that fight, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier, but May 2nd, so not even that much of a wait. They're getting basically a 12-week camp. A 12-week camp to train, which is standard. So that's boxing this week. We're almost missing, definitely missing something. I'm looking through now. Amo Williams is fighting Carlos Adames. That's been confirmed.
That's been reconfirmed, obviously, after the injury on the night, which I'm glad stuck to his word, and he's going to get his world title shot. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. And Richardson Hitchens is injured himself on fight week, so couldn't fight. It wasn't clear. So I think that is everything. I'm really quickly looking through. I can't see anything. we've got big fights this week. We've got Navarrete versus Eduardo Nunes. That's a really, really good fight. Super feather. It's got a good undercard as well. And we've also got Konstantin Ursu making his Queensbury debut versus Owen Cooper in a kind of prospect card that Queensbury are doing, but I mean, they're always pretty...
Big up Konstantin Ursu, by the way.
Yeah. Obviously,
he was at the last DFC as well.
Oh yeah,
sitting down. He's good friends with Alessandro Gatti.
Right. Okay.
He fought on DFC, the Albanian. So
yeah,
good luck to him as well, because his journey is mad as well. Like, just in terms of fighting on the small hall shows, big opportunity for him. Hopefully, he capitalizes on it. Great fighter to watch.
Yeah, really good.
You know, great fighter to watch. So I'm excited to see his journey now into the bigger shows.
Yeah, he's got his opportunity. He's headlining on a prospect show. Really, I mean, notable ones are Ben Fale, Luke McCormack, and I mean Reece Lynch is meant to be very good, and Joe Cooper. There's some good prospects, but ultimately a slower week. But Navarrete Nunes is amazing. Well, title fight. Ursu is also in a good fight against Cooper. Can't complain. That's a lot of boxing. Just in general, we got Mayweather Pacquiao 2. Katie Taylor's going to retire. Claressa Shields is still the GOAT. Ryan Garcia is a world champion. Oh God, I've definitely missed something. Oh, and Inoue versus Nakatani. Leigh Wood beats Josh Warrington. And I tried to do a little review and I can't even remember it all. So yeah, what a mad week. That is boxing this week. 82. Approaching 100. Probably need to do something for 100, but we are 18 weeks away. So, Paolo, anything to say to the lovely people at home?
Just keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking, share the videos, check the shorts out. Amazon competition. I don't know how many times we can say it. Who don't like free money? So, enter. Details will be on the bottom. Enter.
Yeah.
And we'll announce the winner soon. As soon as we hit 500. So, yeah, who don't like free money? Wherever you're watching this, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Benkwi.
Truman Show. Lovely.